sea of zombies for breakfast. The night was still cold and silent, and the group, with the determination of those who had a mission, advanced following the collie. The streets, deserted, seemed like a game of lights and shadows. Each corner could hide some danger, but the hope of looking for Sophia pushed them to follow. Martin, with a lantern in his hand, lit the way, while Luke and Alina watched every movement around him. The dog, with its blinking necklace, was a reliable guide in the dark. Tom, with a pallet still in his hand, led the step with determination. After several minutes that seemed hours, they arrived at a house with windows covered with boards. The glue stopped and gently licked toward the door. Without wasting time, Thomas and Martin began to withdraw the barricades, while Alina and Luke remained alert. Finally, the door opened with a scream. With a lantern up, they advanced cautiously. At the bottom, a figure moved weakly. It was Sophia, alive. "Thank you. You don't know how long I've been waiting," he said in a trembling voice. The group helped her out, making sure she wasn't hurt. Once outside, the sky began to shine, announcing the arrival of a new day. They had achieved more than surviving, they had saved a life. By the dawn, the group, now larger, prepared for what the future would encounter. They felt that they could face any challenge, even plagued with shadows and non-dead. With the first light of dawn on the horizon, the group entered the forest, their twisted shadows retreating to the new day. The woman they had rescued walked with them, their hesitant but determined step. Although the danger of the non-dead was still in the dark, there was a sense of triumph among them. "We need to find a safe place before night falls again," said Marcos, the improvised leader, examining the map with expert eyes. "There is a village not far from here. It could serve as a temporary shelter for us." The group sat down, aware that every moment of light was precious. As they advanced, the woman shared her story. It was botanical, studying the healing properties of forest plants when the outbreak began. His knowledge could be vital to his survival. As the day unfolded, they found a village. It was silent, wooden houses were erected from a simpler time. The group moved cautiously, looking for signs of danger. The place was abandoned. They worked together, using what nature offered them, and when night fell, the village had turned into a natural fortress. Exhausted, they gathered around the fireplace, forging a bond that only adversity can create. The night surrounded the village. The group faced their first problem, the shortage of food. Hunting and harvesting would be vital. They decided to explore at dawn. The next day, as they entered the forest, a loud cry broke the silence. They had found other survivors, but they were trapped, surrounded by a horde of non-dead. Without hesitation, Lucker rushed to the rescue, bravely fighting to pave the way to the desperate. After a tense silence, they managed to save the survivors. But the victory had a cost. One of yours had been bitten. With heavy hearts, they faced the reality of their new existence. The threat of becoming what they feared most. As days went on, the two of them, who at first barely knew each other, began to develop mutual trust based on their complementary skills and their shared determination to keep the group safe. Adversity united them, and small victories, such as finding food or repelling an attack of the non-dead, were celebrated as achievements of all. The nights around the fire became moments to share dreams and fears that they once kept secret. Among the new survivors, there was a couple, Anna and Louis, whose relationship was tested by the constant stress of survival. However, they found comfort in each other, and their love strengthened in the midst of uncertainty. Pedro, the newest to join the group, admired Marco's strength and leadership, seeing him as a model to follow. An indomitable spirit that reminded him of the importance of hope. As they faced the dangers of the new world together, the lines between friends and family dimmed. They cared for each other, and although sometimes disagreements arose, the common desire to rebuild something like a home always prevailed. With each new test, their resilience was strengthened, and in the diversity of their experiences and skills, they found a key to not only surviving, but also prospering. They had sown all the seeds and already had small supplements of fresh food. It was not enough, but it was a beginning. Although supplies were scarce, every new green outbreak was a symbol of hope and a reminder that life persists even in the most difficult circumstances. Over time, the small gardens became a metaphor of their community, diverse, resilient, and full of potential. Each plant that bloomed was like a member of a group, bringing something unique to the whole. And so, in the middle of a desolate world, they created an oasis of life and color. The daily struggle for survival also taught them to value simple things. One sound. Laughter, a kind gesture, a word of encouragement. Small acts of kindness that, in the past, might have gone unnoticed, now had the power to change the course of an entire day. Anna and Louis, whose love had been tempered by adversity, became the emotional heart of the group. His ability to find moments of joy in the dark inspired others not to lose faith. Marcos, with his firm but fair leadership, kept the group united. Their vision of a better future was the lighthouse that guided them through the storm. And Peter, the newcomer, found his place among them. He learned that true strength does not come from the ability to fight the undead, but from the capacity to remain human in a world that has lost its humanity. They built more than just an alliance to survive, they forged a family. And although the future was uncertain, they were sure that as long as they were together, they could face any challenge. The group of survivors has proven to be ingenious and adaptable, using available resources to improve their living conditions. Martin, he has used his experience to design security systems and teach survival techniques to the group. Lucas has helped identify renewable energy sources and has collaborated on the reuse of tools to generate electricity. Elena has applied her knowledge of chemistry to improve the efficiency of power generators. Thomas, his experience as a mechanic, has been crucial in converting abandoned car parts into useful components for generating electricity and putting essential devices into operation. Clara and Selena, they have proven to be skilled in creating irrigation systems for gardens using recycled materials. Marcos has coordinated the group's efforts to ensure that everyone contributes with their unique skills. Sophia, she has used her creativity to adapt old technologies and find new ways to use available resources. Anna and Louis, they have kept the morale of the group high, reminding them of the importance of community and mutual support. Pedro, although he is new to the group, he has learned quickly and has brought fresh ideas to improve the efficiency of ongoing projects. Nicole has been a loyal companion and a vigilante alert, providing security and company to the group. Together, they have managed to reconstruct electrical radios and engines using recycled materials, rebuild battery-free home radios using cardboard, copper wire and other simple materials. They have also reconditioned electric motors with recycled materials such as wooden bases, neodymium magnets and copper wire coils too. These projects not only provide them with useful tools, but also encourage innovation and collaboration within the group. They have succeeded in reconstructing electrical radios and engines using recycled materials. They have rebuilt battery-free home radios using cardboard, copper wire and other simple materials. They have also reconditioned electric motors with recycled materials such as wooden bases, neodymium magnets and copper wire coils too. These projects not only provide them with useful tools, but also encourage innovation and collaboration within the group. The world in which survivors live is a place transformed by catastrophic events that have altered life as they knew it. Desolate environment, once bustling cities, are now silent ruins. Collapsed buildings, abandoned vehicles and nature demanding its space are common. Basic infrastructure, such as electricity and running water, is a distant memory. The weather has become unpredictable. Rains, droughts and violent storms occur without warning, making survival even more challenging. Resource scarcity, food, drinking water and medical supplies are scarce. Survivors must rely on their abilities to hunt, collect and cultivate what they need to survive. In addition to the non-dead, there are other constant dangers such as animals, wild plunder gangs and diseases. Security is a constant concern, and every resource-seeking exit is a deadly risk. Social and government structures have collapsed. Small groups and communities try to rebuild some sense of order. But the distrust is high and the alliances are fragile. Despite adversities, humans show an incredible ability to adapt. They use what they find to create new tools, shelters and forms of communication. In the midst of the desolation that persists, survivors find comfort in the community and in small daily achievements. Solidarity and cooperation are key to their survival and emotional well-being. The survivors face the difficulties of the environment and rediscover what it means to be human and to live in a community. Although the future is uncertain, their determination and unity give them the strength to move forward and rebuild their lives. The non-dead are the greatest danger that survivors face. They don't know the exact origin of the non-dead. Some suggest that a virus or environmental toxin may have caused the transformation of living creatures into these creatures. The undead are often described as resurrected bodies that have lost all appearance of humanity. If they had it before, it looks worn out and moves ugly, but they are persistent and dangerous. They are guided primarily by a basic instinct of feeding themselves, which makes them fearful. They do not show emotions or recognize relatives or friends from the past. Despite their resistance, the non-dead have weaknesses. Usually, the brain is the only way to stop them permanently. The presence of the non-dead has led the survivors to take extreme security measures. The communities are fortified and the exits are carefully planned to avoid encounters with these creatures. The non-dead are the consequence of dehumanization. The non-dead are a constant danger. The struggle is a battle for physical survival and the preservation of human values and culture.